Hey guys, it's Emmanuel, Manny, another video. Hope that you guys are doing well in this 2023 New Year's. So I've been watching a lot of videos on people and their collecting goals for 2023, so kind of inspired me to do the same. So I like that idea of having these goals, right? Because then that kind of motivates you to accomplish these goals, take steps to accomplish them. And it's nice to have that focus in your collecting, right? So I wanted to do that for myself, these collecting goals. So yeah, so let's get started. So I think my number one goal is just be a positive member of the comic book community, right? So I know it's not relating to collecting, but just I consider myself as a member of the community, right? I try to be a good member. I'm not so visible like other members, right? There's more people that are whatever you want to call them, more prominent in the community, but I try to be a good member and through the way I interact with others. So through the videos that my atrocious videos with like zero quality that I produce, my comments that I leave for others, right? I try to be respectful, geeky, positive. And then in my posts, right? Sometimes on Instagram, I post some of my drawings and some of my thoughts on comic books. So, I always want to be a positive person. I'm an educator as well, so I always try to be positive in my interactions as much as possible with my students, and then in my life as well. So I want to make sure I do that as a member of the comic book community. Very important, right? There's a lot of negativity, right? I don't want to be an individual that's just bringing negative energy. So that's my number one goal, right? Number two goal is avoid black hole spending, right? What I mean by that is new comic book day, right? I know there's a lot of people who do new comic book day, right? Not trying to be a hater, right? Collect your way, be happy in your collecting. But, just because of budgetary reasons, I can't, right? So it's not, I'm trying to be a hater. It's just I can't. Homeowner in New York. Wow. Wow. It's just soul crushing, the bills and taxes. So I cannot, I cannot be like a full-time collector new comic book day, right? So want to avoid those things where I'm like just putting a lot of money, right? And then statues, Funkos, right? T-shirts, right? Comic book T-shirts. So I'm just trying to avoid those things and really focus my collecting. If things are a little bit better, maybe I might go back to new comic book day. But for now, I just can't. It's not very feasible right now. Yeah, so that's number two. And then fill some gaps in my Hobgoblin collection. So my Hobgoblin collection is pretty vast, right? I think I've really focused on Hobgoblin on collecting last year, and wow, that was very helpful. I actually put together a lot of the books, and a lot of them digging through bins, right? I dug through bins. I found some really nice books. Right. The good thing about the Hobgoblin is, yes, there's some super major keys, Amazing Spider-Man 238, but for the most part, the books are very affordable. Right. I found a lot of books, $2, $5, right? I did have to bite the bullet on a couple of books and buy them online, which, as you guys know, right, adds kind of cost in terms of shipping. But for the most part, I'm very happy to put my run together. I do have some gaps in my run. Superior Spider-Man. These are just some. There's more, but want to work on high grade fillers in my Hobgoblin collecting run. Also, I don't know. I'm really liking the Mark Jewelers, especially when I started reading up a little bit on the background. That connection to a military serviceman. So I like that piece of history. So I want to own that part of history. I want to own every single Mark Jewelers for Hobgoblin books. But I am looking for the early Hobgoblin books, right? Like the 238 to 276 range. Try to secure some of the Mark Jewelers for my collection. I think 238 might be outside of my budget, but I think 239 and some of the other books, the early books, I think I can secure those. So I'm just gonna look for deals again. Looking for deals, not overpaying, right? Because if you go to Google it, you can see some of them. But I've noticed with patience, I've been able to secure a couple of the Mark Jeweler books during the last few months. So that's something I want to secure. Also, one thing I like about Mark Jewelers, they're never going to be like 9.8, right? It's very rare. They're very loved. So, I could just focus on finding some Fine Plus kind of VF range books. I want to kind of rebag, board, organize some of my books. I think it's time to kind of reboard some of my books. I picked up a lot of books from my collection, and I need to kind of reboard. I've already just started to do that, but I need to do that for some of the more recent books the last few months. I just moved into my new home, and I haven't had a chance to do that, so that's something I want to do, work on slowly, right? And then organize a little bit better, right? I picked up a lot of Hobgoblin books throughout the year, and I found that I'm just putting them in the long box and not really organizing them. And then as I do that, I want to see if I can upgrade certain books in my collection, right? So I've been finding a lot of high grade books that I'm happy with, no need to upgrade at all. But there's a few books where, if it's doable, if it's not super expensive, right? It doesn't take away from my other goals, then I might upgrade those books, right? I've been recently, I found a good shop where, he's had a holiday special selling books for $2, right? $10 books, $12 books. He's selling them for $2 and really high grade too. One of the things I really appreciate, Kyle's Comics in Long Island, we appreciate that he likes to sell really high grade books. So yeah, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna upgrade a few books that I know I needed upgrading. So I got a couple from his store. So again, if it makes sense, it's feasible, financially, I'm gonna upgrade a few books. All right. All right. Next, so let's see if I can sell a few more books. Right. I made a lot of effort last year, to fund the hobby, and that was very, very helpful. Right. Anybody who collects, when you can sell books to fund the hobby, extremely helpful. So things have been kind of not been selling on eBay. I do have an eBay page, so I haven't sold anything for the last few months, even though I have like 60 listings. So I'm gonna see if I can kind of make it more an effort, Facebook Marketplace, and sell a few more books just to help fund the hobby. I know I'm kind of like, I still have some books that I have to kind of post to sell, so I'm gonna make an effort to sell those as well. All right, and then I want to read, right? I want to read some books, right? I want to reread some of my ASM books, Ditko books, some runs, and some modern books too. I've heard some good things about modern books. Obviously, I'm not a new comic book day person. Occasionally there's a give it a try book when I'm at a shop digging through bins I might pick up. So Something is Killing the Children, right? The Nice House on the Lake. I've heard some good things about some of the modern books right now. So maybe through trades. Sometimes I try to see if I can pick them at the library, right, or use trades. So that's something that I'm also looking to do in this new year, right? Just read a little bit more. I noticed that sometimes I'm kind of looking for deals for some certain books, right, or my Hobgoblin collection, but I'm not actually reading, right? I'm just like hunting, seeing, watching books and trying to snipe books and stuff like that. But definitely want to see if I can reread a little bit more in the new year. And read, I should say. And not a big slabs guy, right? I'm more into raw books, but I am working on securing Hobgoblin unmasking covers, right? Where he's unmasked or teased, right, to be unmasked. So one of the books that I'm missing, I did secure a couple, right? One as a gift, a couple as gifts, Amazing Spider-Man 251, and then the recent ASM run number 11. So the only one that I'm missing is 245, so I'm gonna see if I can find a deal on that. I still not happy with the price point it's at, so I might wait to get a good deal on it, and then maybe if I can see that at the right price with Spider-Man 48. So yeah, 245. I seen it as low as 85. I still think I could get. We'll see. I still think I can get it at even a little bit lower, 80, 75, that range. So I might wait to see if I can get it at that price point. We'll see. I might see if have one of my 2 copies. Maybe I might have it clean and press it and just send it myself. Right. CGC is grading so harshly right now. So I already have 9.6 in the other book. So we'll see. Maybe, I'll decide to send my own copy for grading. Yeah, so especially since I'm kind of upgraded to 45, I've actually secured 2 really, really high grade copies. I'll look at those, inspect those to see if they're worth sending in. And that's it. Yeah, so these are my collecting goals for 2023. So, very excited for the new year. let me know what your goals are. You know, if you're a collector yourself, and let me know what do you think of my goals. Did I miss anything, or any feedback you want to give me? So I really appreciate it. All right. So thanks again for watching, and talk to you next time.